What is going on, Bear Nation? My name is Ian Miller, and this is DBSN Overtime. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of DBSN Overtime of 2026. As always, we will bring you all the latest news in non-Berlin sports. To kick off this week's show, let's head over to Jack and Tyson, who have the latest on college football.
Welcome to DBSN Overtime. I'm Tyson Mount.
And I'm Jack Carter with your college football segment. And Tyson, the national championship is set.
Yes, it is. In the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, number 1 Indiana jumped out on number 5 Oregon 11 seconds into the game with a pick six by corner D'Angelo Pons and didn't look back. Heisman winner Fernando Mendoza threw 5 touchdowns to lead Indiana past Oregon and make their first national championship appearance. Oregon QB Dante Moore struggled greatly after the pick six, which is common for QBs playing against Indiana's great defense. Indiana won the turnover battle by +5, which summarized the nightmare of a game for Oregon with the final score of 56-22, with Indiana headed to Miami to face the Miami Hurricanes.
Speaking of Dante Moore, he announced that he's staying at Oregon for another season instead of declaring for the NFL draft. Moore is projected to be a top 5 pick and the number 2 QB in the draft behind Fernando Mendoza. Dylan Raiola transferred to Oregon from Nebraska this week and will now sit behind Dante Moore next season and use a redshirt year. In the other semifinal, number 10 Miami defeated number 6 Ole Miss in a nail-biter, 31-27, to advance to their first national championship since 2003.
The Ole Miss vs. Miami game had 4 lead changes in the last 7 minutes of the game, which is the true meaning of a good playoff game. Ole Miss's QB, Trinidad Chambliss, finished with his college career going 23 for 37 with 277 yards and a touchdown. He was denied another year of eligibility, so Chambliss will declare for the NFL draft in April. The former D2 QB will be one of the top QBs taken in this year's draft.
Number 1 Indiana faces number 10 Miami on Monday, January 19th at 7:30 on ESPN. This is a battle of arguably the 2 best defenses in college football, with Akeem Mesidor and Ruben Bain Jr. from Miami against Aiden Fisher from the Hoosiers. Miami quarterback Carson Beck is looking for his 3rd championship in 6 years. However, it would only be his first as a starter. Fernando Mendoza, who is the sure pick for the number 1 overall selection in the 2026 draft, will play his final game for the Hoosiers and is looking to end his college career on top. That will wrap up our college football segment. I'm Jack Carter.
And I'm Tyson Mount. And now let's send it back to Ian.
Thanks, Jack and Tyson. Next up on today's show, let's check in with our NFL insider, Ishan.
Thank you, Ian. We had a fantastic wildcard weekend. On Saturday, the NFC South winning 8-9 Panthers were defeated by the 11-6 Los Angeles Rams, who went on the road to Charlotte and defeated the Panthers by a score of 34-31, with a key game-winning touchdown for the Rams. For the Panthers, Jamie Horn Jr. had a key drop in the 4th quarter late on 4th down. Matthew Stafford had an impressive game that day with 3 touchdowns overall. Later that night, the Chicago Bears defeated the Green Bay Packers 31-27 in a key interdivisional matchup. The Bears, who were 11-6 and the 2 seed, defeated the 7-seeded Packers. Green Bay actually led 21-3, but the Bears had a key 25-point 4th quarter with a big performance by Caleb Williams, who had 361 passing yards through the air. This is the Bears' first win in the playoffs in over 15 years, so they've been waiting for this moment for a long time. On Sunday at 1 o'clock, the Bills went on the road and defeated the Jaguars 27-21. This is the first Bills road playoff win in 34 years. However, unfortunately for the Bills, injuries to receivers Tyrell Shavers and Gabe Davis means that the Bills only have 3 healthy wide receivers for Josh Allen to throw to. The Jaguars did shoot themselves in the foot, as Trevor Lawrence had 2 interceptions, one in their first drive of the game and one in their last drive of the game. And Cam Little missed a key field goal that could have tied the game for them. Later that day, the 49ers went on the road and defeated the Eagles 23-19. George Kittle, unfortunately for the 49ers, tore his Achilles in the middle of the game. However, the 49ers' day was saved when Jawan Jennings threw a touchdown to Christian McCaffrey. As a result of this game, the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles fired their offensive coordinator, Kevin Patoa. Later that night, on Sunday, The Patriots, who are 14-3 and the 2 seed in the AFC, defeated the Los Angeles Chargers 16-3. This is Drake May's first playoff win, and he makes it in his playoff debut. However, as a result of this game, Justin Herbert is still looking for his first playoff win, as this is his third straight playoff loss. As a result of this game, Chargers offensive coordinator Greg Roman was fired by Jim Harbaugh. On Monday, the Pittsburgh Steelers hosted the Houston Texans, and they were destroyed 6-30. This is Mike Tomlin's 7th straight playoff loss. He hasn't won a playoff game since 2017 in the AFC Divisional. As a result of this game, Tomlin has resigned as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now the Steelers are looking for a new change of direction for their franchise. On this upcoming Saturday, we will expect a good slate of games for a divisional round. The Broncos will face the Bills at 4:30 p.m., while at 8, the Seattle Seahawks, the 1 seed in the NFC, will face the San Francisco 49ers in another interdivisional matchup. On Sunday, the Patriots will host the Houston Texans, who will be going on the road. We will see a fantastic matchup between the Patriots' high-flying offense and the Texans' stout defense. At 6:30, the Chicago Bears will host the Los Angeles Rams, as Matthew Stafford continues to boost his MVP hopes. All right, that's NFL for this week and the upcoming week. Let's send it back to Ian. Thank you.
Great stuff, Ishan. Up next, let's send it over to Kevin, who has the latest update for us in college basketball.
Thanks, Ian. Welcome back to my segment. I'm Kevin, here to bring you the latest on college basketball. To start, we are heading over to Kansas, where an in-conference matchup between the Jayhawks took on the number 2 ranked Iowa State. Kansas, to start the game, had a big lead and never looked back, thanks to an amazing first-half defense only allowing 23 points. Kansas came out with a dominating win over number 2 ranked Iowa State, thanks to a Trey White double-double with 19 points and 10 rebounds. The next game we are going to be talking about is a ranked conference matchup between number 20 ranked Louisville and number 16 ranked Virginia. With a good first-half defense, no team was able to pull away with a big lead. But in the second half, Malik Thomas showed off an impressive range with 6 threes, scoring 19 points in a win. Now let's head down to New Jersey, where number 25 ranked Seton Hall went up against number 3 ranked UConn. In an expected blowout, Seton Hall kept it close from an amazing defense in the first half when their offense was struggling. But in the end, UConn was just barely to squeak out a win to move their record to 17-1. Thanks for watching my segment. Now let's send it back to Ian.
Thanks for that update, Kevin. Now, let's head over to DBSN's Alex Dargatz for some NHL news.
Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to the first NHL segment on DBSN Overtime of 2026. Let's go over some of the biggest highlights in the hockey world that happened over break. There was a blockbuster trade that was made over break between the Vancouver Canucks and Minnesota Wild. Quinn Hughes, an undisputed top 5 defenseman in the league, was traded to Vancouver to Minnesota in exchange for Marco Rossi, Zeev Buium, Liam Ogren, and a 2026 first-round pick. Hughes, who is 26, is 5 years into a 6-year contract. Hughes was clearly unhappy in Vancouver, and all signs pointed to him walking in free agency. Minnesota wanted a little more star power in order to keep competing in the NHL's toughest division, the Central. It was a trade that made sense for both sides. On January 2nd, the annual Winter Classic took place in the not-so-wintry city of Miami, Florida. The game was played between the defending champion Florida Panthers and New York Rangers at Lone Depot Park, the domed stadium of the Miami Marlins. Mika Zibanejad scored or assisted on all of New York's goals en route to a 5-1 Rangers win. Patrick Kane became the 50th NHL player ever to reach the 500-goal tally. He scored last Thursday in a win over Vancouver. Kane became the second American to score 500 goals, with the first being Mike Modano. Goaltender Linus Ullmark has stepped away from the Ottawa Senators for a personal leave of absence. In the interim, the Senators signed veteran goaltender James Reimer to a 1-year contract. Reimer posted a 3.68 goals against average last season with the Buffalo Sabres and Anaheim Ducks. Speaking of Buffalo, the Sabres fired GM Kevin Adams and replaced him with senior advisor Jarmo Kekalainen. Jarmo was the GM of the Columbus Blue Jackets from 2013 to 2024. What followed Buffalo was nothing short of special. The
The Sabres ripped off 10 straight wins, their longest win streak since 2018. But their streak was ended by, you guessed it, the Columbus Blue Jackets. How ironic. The best U20 hockey players in the world came together for the annual World Junior Classic, which took place this year in Minneapolis. Sweden broke their gold medal drought by defeating Czechia in the championship game. Now let's go over 2 games to watch out for over the next few days. On Thursday, Stuart Skinner makes an emotional return to his hometown of Edmonton as the Pittsburgh Penguins play against the Edmonton Oilers. Skinner spent 6 seasons with the Oilers and went to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals before being traded to Pittsburgh in December. 2 of the aforementioned headline teams, the Minnesota Wild and Buffalo Sabres, will play on Saturday afternoon. Both teams are top 3 in their respective divisions. And that's all the time we have, and I'll wrap up our segment. Thank you for watching. Now, let's send it back to Ian.
Great stuff, Alex. Thank you. And to wrap up this week's show, we have some MLB news. Dylan, take it away.
Thanks, Ian. MLB free agency is heating up with star players still on the board. Munetake Murakami has signed a contract with the Chicago White Sox, landing him in the South Side for 2 years. Tatsuya Imai has signed a contract with the Houston Astros. This will certainly make him a villain for Dodgers fans. Alex Bregman signed a contract with the Chicago Cubs on a 5-year, $175 million contract. This is a much-needed third baseman addition for the Cubs, as they have their guy on the hot corner for years to come. Kazuma Okamoto and the Blue Jays are in agreement on a 4-year, $60 million contract. Okamoto spent earlier years in the NPB and will be a great addition to a star-studded Blue Jays lineup. Kirby Yates signed a 1-year deal with the Los Angeles Angels. He will travel on I-5 to his new home in Anaheim. Some notable trades. The Pittsburgh Pirates, Houston Astros, and Tampa Bay Rays have agreed to a 3-way trade, sending longtime Rays second baseman Brandon Lowe to Pittsburgh. Jeff McNeil was traded to the Athletics as a salary dump for the Mets, a great move for both teams. The Athletics get a veteran, and the Mets get more money to spend on free agents such as Kyle Tucker and Cody Bellinger. Speaking of Kyle Tucker, he may have to settle for a shorter-term deal, even though he is asking for around $400 million. But as of January 13th, the New York Mets and Toronto Blue Jays have reportedly offered him $50 million per year. The Dodgers still have yet to make an official offer. Cody Bellinger is commanding around $36 million per year, which scares some teams, but the Yankees have made their offer around that range. In our next segment, I will discuss new signings and potential trades within the next couple of weeks. Now, on to World Baseball Classic news. Byron Buxton agrees to play for Team USA as an outfielder. The USA already has a star-studded lineup with Cal Raleigh, Aaron Judge, Paul Skeens, and Tarek Skubal. They're still waiting on Mike Trout to fully commit. This is a generational factor for the game of baseball, which grows it on a worldwide level. The World Baseball Classic will begin on March 5th, starting pool play of games. Team USA will begin their first pool play game on March 6th, facing off against a weaker Brazil team, where USA is looking to win it all this year. That's all we have for MLB news. We will be back in a couple of weeks to discuss new headlines. Now, let's send it back to Ian.
Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of DBSN Overtime of 2026. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow DBSN on all of our social media accounts. We will see you back here for our next episode. For DBSN, this has been Ian Miller.